locations. You know, some of the most memorable trips happen to be to locations that are more remote and hard to get to. And the experience of getting to the location is sometimes as memorable as the actual location. Al Limon, that's one particular location I remember quite well. I have been there 3 times. And the first time I went with Pastor Jose, it was just him and I. And Al Limon is a pretty good drive from Antilla, really. And we took off through cow pasture roads, dirt roads, driving along pastures, driving along nothing, kind of similar to a lot of trips to different locations. And we knew that this would take us at least an hour or more. And we get to a certain point in the road, and Jose just turns right out in the cow pasture, and we take off. And I think it ended up being an hour and a half drive, but it was quite a drive to get there. Great experience when we got there. But the one time we went, we had Fort Ogden Church, which is our sister church. I had Wayne Hayden, and Tommy Bartwell, and Pastor Neil from Fort Ogden, and we went to Al Limon. We also had Pastor Art from First Sarasota and Kevin from First Sarasota. And what we did is Pastor Russell rented a tractor and a wagon. And we took off across the across that same road and pasture in this tractor and wagon. Wayne was driving the wagon, or driving the tractor. It was a 45-year-old Russian tractor, and Wayne was driving it. Of course, we had a couple jerks and stuff to start with. We started out with umbrellas to keep the sun off of us, and the dirt was rolling up from the 2 wheels. And we were trying to sit down, but you couldn't sit down in it because it was too bumpy. But we took off across there and laughing and just having a great time. And again, we take off across pastures, and there's cows, and here's ditches, and Wayne drives through the ditch and gets through a muddy spot, and we're just wondering what in the world would happen if we got stuck out there. So, but it was it was quite a trip. It was being pulled by a Russian tractor across the pasture for an hour and a half. It was a trip to remember. We get to Al Limon, and this is the first time that Wayne and Tommy and Neil had been there. So this is our first visit for the pastor, for their sister church, and that's always a wonderful experience. And they had been waiting for us for hours, like we always are, and we're always late. And we get there, and the children come out, and the people come out. There were kids all over. And I backed off, and I let Tommy and Wayne and Neil, that's their church, so let them enjoy the moment. And I got to spend time with the kids, and it was a wonderful experience. And the pastor there at Al Limon had a church service inside a very modest house church at that time. And it was a great experience. The kids, I tried to make the kids laugh, and I had taken like a beach ball. Taken like a beach ball, 2 or 3 of them, and we passed them out and sent them around and take pictures and look at the pictures. And they had a pig roast. Wayne and the guys had bought a pig and had a pig roast. It was a wonderful pig, and we celebrated well into the late afternoon, worshiping, telling stories, enjoying the fellowship, and it was quite an experience to go there. And later afternoon, we have to depart. And that's always hard because these little churches have planned these experiences for a year or probably months, a year or even months. And now it's all over. And from the hustle and bustle that's been going on here all day long, to the hugs and goodbyes and realizing that we may never be back there. And that's hard. It's very hard. We take off across the country, across that cow pasture and those long roads. And of course, it's getting dark. And we're going through the mud holes as we did before and praying that we didn't get stuck. We get out it was a beautiful night. It was so clear. It was so clear that you could see the stars all over. And we stopped the tractor in the middle of nowhere. We were probably an hour out from El Limon, yet still an hour away from Antioch. We stopped the tractor, shut the tractor off, and just looked at the glory that God had created. The stars were shining bright. The moon was up there, and it was so quiet. And you're thinking, nobody knows we're here. Only God knows we're in the middle of nowhere. And it's drop dead gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And we said a few words and prayed and continued on our way. But it was that experience of shutting off that tractor and looking around and enjoying the peacefulness and seeing the glory that God has created. The stars, the moon. It was a wonderful experience. Lily was a translator, and Leonard, she was a translator. She went with us. And we just, the whole group got along so well, and we had a wonderful, wonderful experience. We get back, and we've got so much dust and dirt on us, but so many stories to tell about the trip. So that was one of 3 trips to El Limon. The other 2 were pretty easy. I went with Jose with one in a cell, with one in a car. But now the El Limon situation is changing with building of hotels out there. I guess there's still a church there, but the road has changed to blacktop. I'm sure there's still some pastured, but I don't know that. So it's one of those experiences where I have been there and I remember what the past was. But I also know from being at Antioch many times, with the hotels that are being built, the apartments being built, all because of what's being built out at El Limon. A great experience, a wonderful time, and a lot of laughs that happened going cross country to get to El Limon. And that was in 2013, in November 2013. A great trip. And I'm sure Leonard and Lily could have stories to tell of it too. God bless. Thank you.